Okay, it might be badly framed, it might be out of focus, but there's something else I wanted to discuss today, and it's the Corsodyl advert. It's in the BBC News. Every morning when I wake up, I get on my computer and check the BBC News. I've grown up with the BBC, so whilst I totally understand that different news organisations have different news gates and present different information to us, the public, and it might not be the most important information of the day, I still check the BBC News. This came up today, and it's something that I feel really passionately about, and I go on about it all the time. So I might as well go on about it in the vlog, huh? It's not just Corsodyl, it's all about advertising. I hate advertising. I believe that advertising is immoral. I think that people who have an understanding of psychology and use complex psychological techniques to manipulate our thinking, these people who are paid by companies who have no moral mandate whatsoever. In fact, many companies have shown themselves to be immoral over the years, whether it be not caring if people die in car crashes, or treating animals in keeping animals in appalling conditions. There's so many, feeding kids sugar, making you obese. They just want your money. The company wants your money. And there's this confused idea that capitalism and competition mean that you're going to get the best for your money, because two companies will compete to give you the best possible product at the best possible price, so that you will then buy the best and you get the best. But the truth of it is that in the form of society we have, companies don't just strive to make the best product, they also realise that there are other methods to get your money. They don't even have to make a good product at all, they just have to sell you the product. And their methodology in selling to you permeates society so deeply that we have become desensitized or unaware of how much information that we are presented with has an ulterior motive, which is to make us spend our money on something that is not necessarily beneficial to us in any way. In fact, it's definitely beneficial to the person who's selling the product. And so this feeling of mine, this idea, this ethic, this ideal, I believe that we should have two things in our society to combat this. One, I want a campaign where we buy back public space, because I can't understand that in the public environment that art is not allowed. If I go and put up some art, whether it be a graffiti piece or a poster or even a oil painting, it will be removed from the public area, because it's a public area and you're not, as the public, allowed to present your own art. But someone can pay to display their message in the public area, as long as they've got enough money, and their message can be very broad or very narrow, but it's definitely not for public benefit. It's for private benefit. And so when I look at the world and see advertising everywhere, billboards, in buses, all across the internet, it's not just that as well. I see people's clothing and their adverts, and they present ideas on their Facebook that are actually creations. The idea has been seeded by a company and their money to advertise. I see so much of it, it's disgusting. And it leads to a nation of people who are confused about what's right, about what they want, about how to make themselves happy, about compassion. It's leading to social destruction. So, specifically, this Corsodyl advert, when I was at the dentist recently, he was complaining to me about Corsodyl. He was talking to me about gum disease, and he was explaining that if you just use this mouthwash, it's going to be bad for you. That if you think that you might have problem gums, so you use Corsodyl mouthwash regularly, you're going to discolour your teeth, and you're not going to fix the cause of your gum disease, so you're going to continue to have gum problems, but believe that the Corsodyl is helping to alleviate it. So you're going to spend a lot of money on something that's detrimental to you, okay? And this product has been developed for a specific purpose, but the people that are selling it, they don't care if you fucking drink it, because they're selling it. They'll obviously say don't drink it, but if it became popular to drink it, then, I mean, look at the example of high strength alcohol, Tennant Super and Carlsberg what is it? Those sort of cans, you know, the super cider. They're not advertised on mainstream advertising and media and television, but yet they're in the top 10 sellers of alcohol brands in the UK every year to alcoholics, and it's bad for them. But these companies are not saying, oh my God, look, people are dying because they're drinking they're drinking themselves to death. They're saying, like, you know, this is a great market. And whilst they don't advertise in order to make people alcoholics at that end, they don't have to advertise the export strength, the special brew. They don't advertise that, but they do advertise all the other stuff as if it's completely socially acceptable to start on the process of becoming an alcoholic. So the Corsodyl stuff, it's been specifically raised in this magazine piece by Claire Bates in BBC News magazine that it's an unnerving ad campaign, and she's trying to explain how an unnerving ad campaign works. If you want to find out more about this, check out the fantastic documentaries The Men Who Made Us Spend, made by the BBC. I'll put a little clip in now. Jacques Peretti talks to the people who make the adverts. He explains where the ideas have come from, how they've evolved, and how they've become part of mainstream culture. But the bottom line is that the advert has the bottom line is primary purpose of this particular advert is to make you buy a mouthwash that you don't necessarily need. In fact, only a very small percentage of people who suffer with gum disease and are having it treated and are brushing their teeth in a new way, and their dentist has recommended this as a supplementary to the new oral hygiene methods. There's only a small amount of people who really need it, but they want everyone to start buying this product. Like I said, if you bought it and poured it down your sink, they'd be happy as long as you were buying it. So what they've done is the company, Corsodyl, have asked an advertising company to make them an advert. The bottom line is that the advert is not saying Corsodyl is good. What it's saying is that you might lose your teeth. It's trying to scare you and create a psychological reaction within you, and they're using some pretty graphic imagery, and it's not sexually graphic, it's not violently graphic, but it's something that touches a psychological nerve, people missing teeth. Many of you who watch my ASMR work or understand ASMR will know that you can create this positive, lovely feeling in people through media. And at the same time, horror films, advertising, you can create different feelings, negative feelings, worry, anxiety. There's a natural reaction in our human brain to seeing somebody in physical pain, to seeing a broken body. You know, there's a reason that has an effect on you. It's biological, it's subconscious, it's neurological, okay? These are facts. So they've got hold of that idea that they can touch you on a primal level, and they're using it to make you scared about your own teeth, so you go and buy a product. And the truth is that the product might not even help. You might not even have to be scared. 99% of people who see this advert are probably not going to need the mouthwash. They're probably not going to lose their teeth in the way the advert makes them worry. So what's my problem? So what? It's just an advert. Ignore it. Just, look at it and ignore it. Get over it. The truth is that you can't ignore it because, number one, it's been brought to your attention by media outlets, by me even, and I feel... Welcome to Scott's Moral Maze, because now I feel that should I make this video and put it on the internet, because all I'm doing really is perpetuating the Corsodyl advert. I'm showing more people the advert. They're going to see it, Am I doing something bad whilst trying to do something good? And these are the moral tangles that I can't answer. I don't know. This is one of the things that prevents me from making a lot of the media that I possibly could. Okay? But yeah, we're talking about it, it's going on. It's not just Corsodyl that have been doing this. Car adverts are notorious for showing accidents or crash tests to make you feel insecure, and that's how they sell their big cars. And the reality is the big cars are actually less safe than some of the smaller cars. And if we were all driving small cars, it would be much safer because we wouldn't be banged into by big cars. And they're doing it just to sell their cars. They're doing this just to sell their tooth wash. They're doing this just to sell their mouthwash. So why is it a big problem? Okay, yeah. They're touching on a primal instinct. And whilst we're sophisticated enough to understand how to touch people in that primal way, they're not concerned with, nor sophisticated enough to realise the full impact of how that affects people. As long as it makes them buy the product, they're happy. But if it also causes other kinds of stress, other kinds of worry, other kinds of anxiety, if it's causing people to buy a product that they don't even need, which is contributing to their own which is detrimental to their quality of life because they're losing money and they're believing that they're not as good as they need to be. They've got worries and anxieties. If they're doing these things to people, I think that's immoral. And I think it's especially immoral that every child can access that material just by walking past it, seeing it on the television, on the internet. And I think it's exceptionally immoral that that's not balanced out with a more positive message. Okay, this person has made a piece in the media to say something different. I'm making a piece to say something different. But the people who make the advert, they haven't paid for any of that. They don't care. In fact, they're happy their advert's being shared, aren't they? So, yeah, I find it disgusting and immoral. And I think it needs to stop. I think it's wrong in society. I think if instead of branded this and branded that, imagine if you walked into the supermarket and every single kind of cornflakes was just a white box with cornflakes and the name of the company who made them and the ingredients. Like, you wouldn't be choosing, you'd think this is just ridiculous, all these kind of different cornflakes, this brand and that brand and then brand. You think we don't need all these different kinds of cornflakes. Let's put our ideas and our workings into something more productive for society, like ending poverty or making people healthy, or there's so many things we need to sort out in society. And the truth is that the advertising is working the other way. It's pulling us away from that, and it's confusing us, and it's making our quality of life worse. And this is quite a clear example of that. So in conclusion, you can't just not look at it because it's reaching you on a subconscious level. These people have got loads of money and no morals. And I just think, it makes me angry and upset and agitated. And these are the things that I think all the time, every day, that trouble me. I don't know. There's no conclusion, is there? If I was more organised and productive, maybe if I just did one thing, maybe if I was just a journalist or just a this, she's put together a really good piece about it. And there are other journalists who have put together really good, there's those fantastic documentaries that you can watch if you want to learn about this sort of stuff, which you should, because it totally affects you every single day. And if you go around with your head in the clouds like, oh, I don't care, I just enjoy buying things, then you're missing a trick, and a big trick. So whilst you think it's okay, what will happen in the long run is that you will end up unhappy and you won't know how to fix it, and that's your life fucked. And I care, I care about people, I care about our children, which is why I don't think these things are acceptable. I mean, I could do a blog piece I could do a vlog like this every single day, because there's so much that's fucked up. And this isn't me being some conspiracy nut, is it? I'm not like Illuminati on this shit. I'm telling it like it is. So is Claire Bates. And if you're one of those people that's so yay about stuff and products and films like Transformers or the latest sweets or mouthwash, then, you know, the truth is, you could be making the world a shittier place for people without even realising it. So stop it with your unboxings and your haul videos. You know, pull your head out of those. Fashion is created by a whole load of people all getting together and saying, yeah, let's do this. So if you all got together and said, you know what, let's not do this, let's do something real, because there are people who are literally suffering. You know, let's go and get myself a rescue dog. He ain't suffering, is he? I've made his life a load better, haven't I? Haven't I made your life great? Nathan used to sleep in kennels, surrounded by loads of other dogs, all barking, at a dog's home, where he was not primary contender for adoption. There are loads of dogs out there that are good contenders for adoption, that would make lovely family pets. And there are a lot of dogs out there that are a lot more difficult, that if you've got the capability, and trust me, it's 10 times harder than you thought it was. But if you're up for it, you know, there are lots of dogs that need a good home. There are lots of kids that need a good home. There are lots of people that need help. Being vegan doesn't stop at changing to soya milk. Being vegan is an ideology based on compassion, based on values, based on ethics and morals. And I believe that, you know, if these things that I talk about, like the advertising, so if they don't trouble you, then you need to get deeper into it. That's for everyone. You know, if you're not vegan yet, then you need to get deeper into it. You need to have a bit more, have a bit more of a think. It is worth it. It is. It's totally worth it. Because if you don't keep developing as a person, and if you don't keep progressing and learning and improving, then as fun as it is, you might just be stagnating, and it's not for your benefit. Because at the end of it, when you're dead, you know, what does it all matter? Well, it matters to people right now while you're alive, you know, because they're suffering. That's why I made all those ASMR videos, is because I knew people suffered in the same way as I'd suffered, and could offer them some help. And that's not a whisper video to relax you. That is, but it's also an avenue in to seeking proper help, like cognitive behavioural therapy. I'm going off on one now, and I'm 80. Time to cut.